Hey guys, I'm Daddy Plant, and I fix brown leaves, not broken hearts. Today, we are talking about one of the most dramatic and rewarding flowering bulbs you can grow indoors, the Amaryllis. You've probably seen them around the holidays. Giant, trumpet-shaped flowers in red, white, pink, or striped, sitting on top of thick, tall stems. One bulb can produce 4 huge flowers, sometimes 6. They look like something out of a tropical dream. And here's the best part. They're incredibly easy to grow. Even if you've never grown a bulb before, you can succeed with Amaryllis. But here's what most people don't know. Most people buy an Amaryllis, enjoy the flowers, and then throw the bulb away when the blooms fade. That's a waste, because with a little bit of care, that same bulb will bloom for you again next year, and the year after. I have Amaryllis bulbs that have been blooming for 5 years straight. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know. How to plant the bulb, how much light and water it needs, how to get it to bloom, what to do after the flowers fade, how to store the bulb for dormancy, and how to force it to rebloom year after year. Let's get into it. First, let's clear up a common confusion. What we call Amaryllis is actually Hippeastrum. True Amaryllis is a different plant from South Africa. But in the United States, everyone calls these Amaryllis, so that's what we'll call them. These bulbs come from South America, Brazil, Peru, and the Andes. They're tropical bulbs, which means they don't need a cold period like tulips or daffodils. That's what makes them so perfect for indoor growing. Let's start with choosing your bulb. Bigger is better. The larger the bulb, the more flower stalks it will produce. A good Amaryllis bulb should be firm, heavy for its size, and free of mold or soft spots. The top of the bulb, the neck, might have some papery skin peeling off. That's normal. You can find Amaryllis bulbs at garden centers, online, or even at grocery stores and big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, especially from October through December. There are many varieties to choose from. Red Lion is the classic bright red. Apple Blossom is white with soft pink edges. Double Dream has layers of petals. That's called a double flower. Minerva is white with red stripes. And Papilio has exotic green and red stripes that look like a butterfly wing. Now let's talk about planting. The first thing to know is that you don't need to plant your Amaryllis bulb right away. It can sit in a cool, dry place for weeks or even months until you're ready. But when you are ready, here's what to do. Choose a pot that's about 1 to 2 inches wider than the bulb. Amaryllis like to be root-bound, so don't go too big. The pot needs a drainage hole. Terracotta or plastic both work. Now for the soil. Use a light, well-draining potting mix. Regular indoor potting mix with some perlite is perfect. Do not use heavy garden soil. Now here's the most important planting tip. Place the bulb in the pot and add soil around it, but leave the top third to half of the bulb exposed above the soil line. The bulb's shoulders and neck should be visible. Do not bury the whole bulb. If you bury it too deep, it will rot or refuse to bloom. Press the soil down gently to secure the bulb. Water it once, just enough to moisten the soil. Then wait. Let's talk about light. After planting, place your Amaryllis in a bright, warm spot. An east or south-facing window is perfect. The ideal temperature is between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. In low light, the flower stalk will grow tall and floppy, reaching for the light. In good light, the stalk will be shorter, thicker, and much stronger. So give it as much bright, indirect light as you can. Once the flower buds start to show color, you can move the plant to a slightly cooler spot to make the flowers last longer. Now let's talk about watering. This is where a lot of people go wrong. After planting, water just once to settle the soil, then wait. Do not water again until you see green growth emerging from the bulb. Amaryllis bulbs can rot if they sit in wet soil before roots have formed. Once you see leaves or the flower stalk starting to grow, you can start watering regularly. Here's my rule. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. In most homes, that means watering about once a week. Always water the soil directly. Avoid pouring water into the top of the bulb. That can cause rot. When you water, water thoroughly until water runs out of the drainage hole. Then, empty the saucer. Never let your amaryllis sit in standing water. Let's talk about the bloom cycle. This is the fun part. After planting, the bulb will send up a flower stalk first, before any leaves. Or sometimes leaves and the stalk appear together. The stalk grows about 1 to 2 inches per day. It's fast. In 4 to 6 weeks after planting, you'll have flowers. Each bulb typically produces 1 to 2 stalks, and each stalk has 2 to 4 giant flowers. The flowers last for 2 to 3 weeks. To make them last longer, keep the plant out of direct hot sun and away from heat vents. Cooler temperatures in the mid-60s prolong the blooms. Some people move their amaryllis to a cooler room at night. That works great. Also, remove the yellow anthers, the little yellow parts inside the flower, when the flower opens. That prevents the flower from pollinating itself, which makes it fade faster. Removing the anthers keeps the flower looking fresh for several extra days. Now let's talk about what to do after the flowers fade. This is the stage where most people throw their amaryllis away. Please don't. When the flowers wilt and die, cut off the flower stalk about 1 to 2 inches above the bulb. Leave the leaves alone. The leaves are now the most important part of the plant. They will continue to grow and photosynthesize, storing energy in the bulb for next year's bloom. Move your amaryllis to the sunniest spot you have. A south or west-facing window is ideal. Continue watering regularly when the top inch of soil is dry. And fertilize. Use a balanced liquid houseplant fertilizer diluted to half strength every 2 to 4 weeks during spring and summer. Treat your amaryllis like a regular houseplant through spring and summer. Take it outside after the last frost and put it in a spot with morning sun and afternoon shade. Water and fertilize all summer. This is when the bulb rebuilds its strength. Now let's talk about dormancy and reblooming. In early fall, usually around September or October, your amaryllis needs a rest. This is the secret to getting it to bloom again. Stop watering and stop fertilizing. Let the soil dry out completely. The leaves will start to turn yellow and brown. That's normal. When the leaves are completely dry and crispy, cut them off about 1 inch above the bulb. Take the pot and put it in a cool, dark place for 8 to 10 weeks. The ideal temperature is 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. A basement, a closet, or a garage that doesn't freeze works well. Do not water during this time. Do not give it light. The bulb is resting. After 8 to 10 weeks, take the bulb out of its dark spot. If you want to refresh the soil, repot it now. Remove any loose, dry roots and old soil. Put it back in fresh potting mix with the top third of the bulb exposed. Give it a good drink of water. Put it in a bright, warm spot. Within a few weeks, you'll see a new flower stalk emerging. The cycle starts again. You can also time your amaryllis to bloom whenever you want. Want flowers for Christmas? Start the dormancy period in early September. Move the bulb back into light in early November. Want flowers for Valentine's Day? Start dormancy in October. Move back into light in early December. This is called forcing. You can literally schedule blooms for holidays and special occasions. Let's talk about common problems. Let's go through them one by one. Problem 1. No flowers, only leaves. This usually means you didn't give the bulb a proper dormancy period. The bulb needs 8 to 10 weeks of cool, dry rest. Problem 2. Flowers, but very short stalk. This happens when the bulb is planted too deep, or when it's too warm in the early growth stage. Leave the bulb shoulders exposed. Keep temperatures around 65 degrees for the first few weeks. Problem 3. Tall, floppy stalks that need staking. Not enough light. Move to a brighter spot. You can also stake the stalk with a bamboo stake and soft plant tie. Problem 4. Bulb rot. Too much water, especially before roots have formed. Remove the mushy parts, dust with cinnamon or sulfur powder, and repot in dry soil. Problem 5. No growth after planting. Wait. Some bulbs take 4 to 6 weeks to wake up. Be patient. Water only when the soil is dry. Problem 6. Pests. Amaryllis can get mealybugs, aphids, and fungus gnats. Mealybugs look like white cotton in the leaf joints. Wipe with rubbing alcohol. Fungus gnats usually mean you're overwatering. Let the soil dry out. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. How many times will an amaryllis bulb bloom? With good care, it can bloom every year for decades. I've seen bulbs over 20 years old. Can I plant my amaryllis outside in the garden? In USDA zones 8 through 11, yes. In most of the US, no. They're not frost hardy. Keep them indoors. Do amaryllis bulbs need to be chilled like tulips? No, that's a common myth. Amaryllis are tropical bulbs. They need a dry, dark rest period, not cold. My bulb grew a flower stalk but no leaves. Is that normal? Yes. Many amaryllis bloom first, then grow leaves. That's fine. Can I use the same bulb next year? Absolutely. That's the whole point. Should I remove old, papery skin from the bulb? Yes, you can. It doesn't hurt. Let's wrap everything up. Amaryllis are one of the most rewarding indoor flowering plants you can grow. Choose a large, firm bulb. Plant in a pot with drainage holes, leaving the top third of the bulb exposed. Use light, well-draining potting mix. Water once after planting, then wait for growth. Once you see leaves or a flower stalk, water when the top inch of soil is dry. Give your amaryllis bright, indirect light. After the flowers fade, cut off the stalk but leave the leaves. Water and fertilize all spring and summer. In early fall, stop watering. Let the leaves die back. Store the bulb in a cool, dark, dry place for 8 to 10 weeks. Then bring it back into light and water to start the cycle again. With this simple routine, your amaryllis will bloom for you year after year. Here's the most important thing to remember. The amaryllis is not a one-hit wonder. It's a perennial bulb that wants to bloom again. Most people throw it away because they don't know it needs a rest. Give it that rest. Let it sleep. Then wake it up, and it will reward you with those spectacular flowers again and again. If you've grown amaryllis before, let me know in the comments. What color do you have? Have you ever gotten it to rebloom? Post a picture. I'd love to see it. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We put out new plant care videos every week. No plant shaming, just real tips for real plant parents. Thanks for watching. Take care of your plants, and they'll take care of you. See you in the next video.